And welcome back. I'm Chef D, and we're in the kitchen of the Southern Food and Beverage Museum. Today we'll be making a French onion family soup. So you're probably thinking, how is this different than a traditional French onion soup? And the only difference is we're going to use a variety of onions. We're not just going to use one type. So we're using 5 different onions in the onion family, hence the family soup. So we're going to do just like we always do. We're going to go over all of our ingredients, and then we're going to get right into making the soup. So the first thing we have is all of our onions. So we have green onion, Vidalia onion, some white onion, yellow onion, and red onion. We also have some olive oil and some unsalted butter. I have some chopped garlic, a little bit of flour. This is our beef stock. I have some dry white wine as well as some brandy. Then we have our French bread that we're going to make toast out of with our Gruyere cheese. So the first thing we're going to do is turn on our pot. We're going to go to a medium-high heat. And we're going to add in our olive oil and our butter. Okay, now our butter and our oil is hot, so let's go ahead and add in all of our onions. This is 2.5 pounds of the mixed variety of onions. And we're going to mix them all up, right? We want to get them all mixed together, and we want them all coated with that butter and olive oil. Now that we have them coated, we're going to put the lid on the pot. We're going to allow it to kind of really stew down. It's going to sweat. We want them to kind of release a lot of their onion juice. So they're going to sweat in this pot for about 10 minutes. Once that time is up, then we'll go on to our next step. So now it's been about 10 minutes. I'm going to show you what it looks like at that stage. The onions have cooked down and they've sweat a lot, so it's decreased almost half the size. The next thing we're going to do is add in our garlic and a little bit of the salt and pepper. Now that we've added the garlic and the salt and pepper, we're going to cook the onions down for about 30 minutes without the lid. Having the lid off is important because we don't want to create the condensation. We want the onions to start to caramelize, and that's going to help with the lid off. So we're going to do this for about 30 minutes. But make sure you stay on top of it to keep it from sticking to the sides or the bottom. We don't want the onions to burn. Right now I've been stirring the onions for about 35 minutes, and we've pretty much achieved that beautiful color that we were looking for. So we're going to move to our next step, and that is to sprinkle in the flour. And you're just going to make sure that all the onion is coated in this flour and that there's no raw or white flour left in your pot. It should be kind of sticky, making what looks like maybe some type of an onion dough. Once you've reached that stage, go ahead and carefully add in your wine, and we're going to allow this to bubble for about 1 minute. Once you've reached that bubbling stage after a minute, we're going to next add in our beef stock, and just make sure you do a good job with scraping down the bottom of your pan. I know the sides are going to look a little bit messy, but don't worry, the stock is going to help loosen that up. Now that we have the stock in, we're going to gently mix and just make sure we get everything loosened up in this pot. And we're going to let this mixture come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we're going to simmer, and then we're going to add in our brandy. And then we're going to simmer again for about 45 minutes. Now we're at a full boil. We're going to go and add in the brandy, and then we're going to simmer this soup. So we're going to turn it down on low. So our soup has been simmering for about 45 minutes, and it is pretty much done. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add that toasted French bread that's toasted on the back, has the melted cheese on the top, right to the center of the bowl. You're going to fill that bowl with that fantastic French onion soup right on top. Let's do another scoop. And this is our completed dish. I hope you guys try out the recipe, and I can't wait for you to come down and visit me at the Southern Food and Beverage Museum.